Stop what you're doing right now. There's a volcano inside you, and if you're not careful, it might erupt at any moment. This isn't just heated emotion. It's the potential to turn anger, fear, and stress into fuel for greatness. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." I turn my inner fire into my biggest strength. This is our mantra today. I want you to pause right now and comment, "I turn my inner fire into my biggest strength," below. Do it to solidify this manifesto in your reality. Let every like on your comment remind you of this promise. Think about it. Every day, you're faced with challenges that stir anger, frustration, or fear. The traffic jam that makes you curse under your breath. The harsh criticism at work that raises your defenses. These are sparks. Unchecked, they can ignite chaos. But harnessed, they become your power source. Imagine you're an alchemist. The Stoics teach us to transform our inner lava into a path to peace and productivity. Like Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Why? Because we let the volcano dictating terms. Today, we change that. Today, we channel it. If this powerful reminder resonates, pause for 1 second. If this is hitting you, hit that subscribe button. It tells me to keep making these insights for you. Now, think of a blacksmith. Every swing of the hammer, every embrace of the flames, turns raw metal into something strong and polished. You too can hammer your emotions into focused energy. Anger becomes determination. Fear becomes bravery. This is your crucible. This is your strength. 1. Harnessing the beast, understanding anger's energy. Let's dissect the beast lurking within you and learn the art of harnessing its power. Stand face to face with anger. Too often, it's viewed as a wild force, an enemy to your peace. But what if I told you that anger is energy waiting for direction? This isn't about caging a wild beast. It's about putting it to work for you. Visualize a flashlight in a dark room. If scattered, the light is weak. Focus it into a beam, and it cuts through the darkness. Your anger is that flashlight. With aim, it illuminates paths otherwise hidden from you. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Anger is your initial hurdle. Flip it, and it's fuel for progression. Understand this. Your challenge is not to erase anger, but to transform its chaos into constructive action. Anger obscures judgment. When harnessed, however, it gives you clarity. Feel the heat, and instead of letting it lead to impulsive reactions, channel it into solving the problem, achieving your goals with renewed vigor. Here's a practice. The next time you feel that burning in your chest, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask, what is this anger trying to tell me? Let it become the motivation to communicate clearly, to set boundaries, or to make the change you've been avoiding. Fear and anger often disguise valuable insights. Pause for 1 second. If this is hitting you, click the subscribe button now. It's a small action for you, but a giant step for your mind. Back to our analogy, the blacksmith doesn't shun the heat. He uses it to shape. You can do the same. Anger becomes a forge, tempering your resolve and strengthening your willpower. Embrace the process. Allow it to refine your character. Seneca wisely said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Each encounter with anger is a chance to test, to refine, to emerge stronger. Remember, in the furnace of life, your greatest test is also your path to becoming unbreakable. 2. The lens shift, viewing challenges as warriors. Stop treating your struggles like burdens. View them as opportunities for greatness. I am the master of my challenges. They strengthen, not weaken me. I want you to pause right now and comment, I am the master of my challenges. They strengthen, not weaken me. Below. Do it to solidify this manifesto in your reality. Let every like on your comment remind you of this promise. Imagine a warrior on the battlefield. Every swing of the sword, every clash with an enemy, tests and builds his strength. He does not curse the battlefield. He embraces it, knowing it carves out his resilience and sharpens his skills. You, too, can be that warrior. Your challenges are your battlefield. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When faced with obstacles, don't shrink back. Let them push you forward. Each challenge is a rung on the ladder to your best self. When you meet them head-on, you learn, you grow, you adapt. Think of a time you faced a great difficulty. At that moment, it felt insurmountable. But looking back now, it was a stepping stone to where you are today. This is how you must see every problem. A blessing in disguise. It is not there to break you, but to build you. Remember, if it's challenging you, it's changing you for the better. If you want to keep receiving these reminders, click the subscribe button now. It's a small action for you, but a giant step for your mind. The Stoics remind us that we are tested in order to reveal our true capacity. Embracing challenges doesn't mean loving the struggle, but understanding its purpose. It's about seeing each trial as a craftsman sees raw material, potential waiting to be shaped. As you face your own battles, stand firm. Know that you are a warrior in both body and mind. Shape each experience into wisdom and strength. Let nothing stop you. The path through adversity is the path to true strength. Prove yourself with each new challenge and become the master of your fate. 3. The calming anchor. Instant grounding techniques. You find yourself on the brink, emotions swirling like a storm inside you. In these moments, you need an anchor, a way to tether your mind to calmness and control. Picture this. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, amid the endless chaos of empire, finding serenity in the simple act of focused breathing. This is your first grounding technique. Breathe deeply, with intention. Feel the air enter your lungs and exit slowly. Let it guide your thoughts to calmness precisely as Marcus did while managing an empire. He reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your second anchor is an internal dialogue, a mental checklist. Inventory your thoughts and emotions. Ask yourself, what is within my control? Acknowledge what lies within your power to change, and release what is not. This is something Seneca would practice often, teaching that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Next, step into the tranquility of a mental break. Visualize a calming place, a beach, a forest, a quiet room. Feel the serenity of that space. Each sense ties you closer to peace, like Epictetus once taught. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Pause here, and if you are finding strength in these words, hit that subscribe button. It tells me to keep making these for you. These are your calming anchors, quick to employ, designed to ground you in the moment's chaos. They are the chains that keep your ship steady in turbulent seas. Remember, it's your internal state that defines you, not the storm outside. Keep this within you, and face each new wave with the calm resolve of a stoic warrior. Keep, always, the calmness within reach. 4. Internal alchemy. The art of emotional transformation. Imagine a world where your emotions control you. You flare up at the smallest inconvenience. You crumble with every critique. Your life is a storm, and you are a fragile boat. This is the life you live when you forget the art of internal alchemy, the ancient skill of transforming base emotions into powerful, steady resolve. I am the master of my fate. Believe it, Redefine your fate by mastering your emotions. Picture Marcus Aurelius in the midst of war, chaos around him. He kept calm. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Pause now and comment, "I am the master of my fate." Below, solidify this manifesto. Let each like from others remind you of this promise. Now, let's dig deeper into this powerful practice of emotional transformation. What pushes your buttons? Is it traffic? A coworker's criticism? Notice how these are external triggers. Reaction? The choice is all yours. Epictetus taught us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Acknowledge this. Recognize the gap between stimulus and response. That's where your immense power lies. This space is your realm. That's your canvas for internal alchemy. Here's a real-life analogy. Think of a pressure cooker. Our busy lives are filled with heat and pressure. But the magic secret? Controlled release of steam. With practice, you can transform boiling rage into focus and insight. By crafting your thoughts, you are tempered steel. No longer just heated metal, but stronger and sharper than before. This transformation begins with a simple step: awareness. Observe your emotional reactions without self-judgment. Transformation needs patience and consistency. Just like Seneca advised, begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. If the weight of these words resonates with you, pause for a moment and subscribe. This is guidance you don't want to miss. Even one more step towards your inner peace is priceless. Finally, let's return to tranquility. Cultivate gratitude. It's not just positivity, it's empowerment. Make a daily ritual of reflection to count your blessings, not your burdens. Let gratitude drive your spirit, not greed. Your mind is your domain, the richest realm you could ever own. I'll leave you with one last question. How will you harness this inner alchemy in your everyday life? Reflect on this. The power is yours to wield. 5. The power pause. Mastering the Stoic break. You are about to make a huge mistake if you don't give yourself a break. How often do you stop in the middle of chaos and just breathe? We rush, we react, and often we regret. But there's a lesson here that the Stoics mastered, a lesson in pausing. I control my response to every situation. I want you to pause right now and comment, I control my response to every situation, below. Do it to solidify this manifesto in your reality. Let every like on your comment remind you of this promise. Marcus Aurelius once advised, the nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. Imagine being the eye of the storm, calm and unrattled while everything else swirls around. This is the power pause, the Stoic break. It's not just inactivity, it's deliberate and empowering. Let's consider a classic scenario. You're at work. Emails flood your inbox. Your phone dings incessantly, and stress tightens your chest. Instead of letting these triggers dictate your mood or actions, stop. Take a power pause for just a few seconds. Breathe deeply. Feel the air fill your lungs and slowly let it out. Notice this moment. Relinquish control of everything but your breath. Repeat to yourself, I control my response to every situation. This is more than calming down. It's preparing for the right action. By pausing, you give yourself a chance to redirect your energy. Your actions become choices, not reactions. Seneca suggested that he who is brave is free. By mastering the pause, you free yourself from the chains of impulse. If you want to keep receiving these reminders, click the subscribe button now. It's a small action for you, but a giant step for your mind. Remember, the power pause isn't just for emergencies. Practice it every day, when you wake up, before a meal, before bed. Train your mind like you would any muscle. Build it stronger with each pause. ready to serve when true challenges arise. Your strength lies in the space between stimuli and your response. This is where true power lives. The storm may rage on, but you hold the calm within it. Marcus Aurelius believed that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Take a minute now. Close your eyes. Breathe. Embrace the pause. The power is yours. Now, how will you harness this strength today? 6. Empathy armor. Turning hostility to understanding. Stop what you're doing immediately if you think empathy is just a soft skill. You're about to unlock a power that will turn hostility into understanding, hostility we all inevitably face. When you don armor made of empathy, you don't just protect yourself, you transform the entire battlefield. You see, empathy is a shield of understanding in a world that often feels like a battleground of misunderstandings and anger. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This isn't about just hearing words, it's about understanding where they're coming from. Picture a heated workplace argument. The tension is thick, voices are raised, and yet you are calm. You've chosen empathy. When you take the time to truly understand the other person's point of view, your perspective shifts. What seemed like an attack could simply be their frustration bubbling over. As you listen, truly listen, the anger in the room begins to dissipate, and space opens up for real solutions. Empathy is not acquiescence. It doesn't mean you lose in an argument. Instead, it builds bridges where walls exist. Seneca taught that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By stepping into another's shoes, you often find the answer to the conflict was hiding there all along, a misunderstanding from assumptions or unspoken needs. If this is hitting you, hit that subscribe button. It's how you tell me to keep delivering these insights to you. Now back to our practice. Empathize with the intent not just to resolve conflict, but to deepen connections. When we choose understanding over hostility, we replace the destructive cycle of anger with the constructive cycle of peace. You'll find more people will open up, both offering and receiving trust. That is the secret strength of empathy. It builds bonds that are stronger than steel. In the end, wielding empathy as armor doesn't just protect you, it raises you. It transforms skirmishes into symphonies of understanding. And remember, as Marcus Aurelius advised, waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. Today, which part of your life will you fortify with empathy? 7. The reflection pool. Analyzing anger without judgment. Anger can feel like a tidal wave crashing over everything. But pause for a moment. Imagine if you could stand unmoved in its path, analyzing without judgment. That's the power of the reflection pool. Anger is a part of us. Yet, as Seneca wisely noted, most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. First, acknowledge your anger without labeling it as bad. Avoid the common trap of thinking anger is your enemy. Instead, view it as a messenger. It signals that something needs your attention. Like a reflection in water, the clarity comes not from stirring up emotions, but from allowing them to settle. Picture yourself at work. A colleague takes credit for your idea in a meeting. Anger flares. But before reacting, step into your reflection pool. Observe the moment detachedly. Why do you feel angry? Is it about recognition? Or is it a deeper feeling of being undervalued? By understanding the root, you turn anger from an uncontrolled blaze into a beacon that guides you towards clarity. Stoics teach us that anger is temporary, but the consequences can last. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. What this means is taking the higher path. Instead of responding with bitterness, use your understanding to act with wisdom. Talk to your colleague calmly. Address the issue, not with rage, but with insight. Show that you control your response. If you want to keep receiving these reminders, click the subscribe button now. It's a small action for you, but a giant step for your mind. By turning moments of anger into moments of reflection, you practice the art of self-control. You teach yourself to rise above temporary emotions. Imagine how powerful that makes you. Your mind becomes calm. Your heart becomes resilient. You remain steadfast amidst chaos, untouched by the storm. Keep practicing this. Transform your anger into stepping stones toward growth. Remember, you are the master of your reactions. Let the reflection pool be a place where every ripple leads to inner peace and wisdom. 8. Chaos to clarity, the breathing navigator. Now, let's explore the power of controlled breathing as a gateway from chaos to clarity. Picture this. You're in the middle of an office crisis. Everyone's frazzled, losing their heads. You can choose to join in the chaos or stand apart with clarity. This is where the breathing navigator steps in. You may wonder why something as simple as breathing commands such power. Here is the truth. When you control your breath, you control your mind. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke." Your breath helps you revoke the chaos. Try this practice. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 counts. Hold your breath for 4. Exhale slowly for 6 counts. This small cycle brings your awareness to the present moment, anchoring your thoughts and quieting the storm within. Epictetus taught us the power of distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot. When you breathe deeply, you remind yourself that you control your response, not the external chaos. Remember, a calm mind doesn't just happen. You build it, breath by breath. Imagine you're in a difficult meeting or a heated discussion. Instead of reacting instantly and potentially regretting your words, pause. Focus on your breath to center yourself. You might find that what once seemed critical could be viewed more rationally and addressed with wisdom. Look at Seneca, who urged us to dwell on our capacity for reason. When we breathe intentionally, we engage this capacity. We make room for reason and apply it to guide our actions rather than letting emotions rule. Pause for 1 second. If this is hitting you, hit that subscribe button. It tells me to keep making these for you. And as you continue to master this technique, it becomes a powerful tool in transforming anger, frustration, and confusion into clarity, calmness, and control. Every deep breath you take is a step away from chaos and a step closer to tranquility. It's a testament to your growing mastery over your reactions. You are not defined by the storm around you, but by the calm sailing within. 9. The silent witness, practicing detachment. Now, let's explore a deeper practice, becoming the silent witness in your own life. Imagine stepping back and watching your life's events from a distance. This is not about avoidance, but about gaining perspective. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. To practice detachment, begin by observing your thoughts and emotions as an outsider might. Picture yourself sitting in a crowded theater, watching a movie of your life unfold on the screen. You see the drama, but you're untouched by the chaos. You, as the audience, remain calm and detached. Just like watching a movie, you don't confuse the real with reality. This is what we aim for, a calm mind amidst life's fury. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means not allowing your emotions to control you. It's the art of observing them without judgment. If a coworker's harsh words sting, imagine those words blown up like leaves in the wind. They lose their power over you. Seneca said, "He is most powerful who has power over himself." When you become a silent witness, you regain control. You stop reacting impulsively to everything that happens. This is a practice, a discipline you build every day. And it's as simple as taking a breath, realigning your perspective, and silently witnessing the world unfold. Embrace this practice fully. The next time you feel emotion taking over, pause. Look at the situation from the outside. Separate action from reaction. And remember, this power of detachment is your superpower in the game of life. Now, take a moment. If this resonates, click subscribe. It's a small action for you, but a giant leap for your mindset. But we don't stop there. Beyond detachment lies the ability to transform. Through this practice, step by step, you start transforming moments of stress into moments of reflection. You begin to live less in the noise of life and more in its music. You find that detachment is not distance, but understanding, seeing the world clearly, without the fog of emotional turmoil. Keep honing this skill, and you'll find that, in the silent observation, you shape your destiny. 10. Dialogues in stillness. Conversing with your higher self. There's an ancient conversation happening within you, waiting to be heard. The dialogue with your higher self. If you ignore this, you'll miss the greatest guide you'll ever meet. My inner self guides me to clarity. I want you to pause right now and comment "My inner self guides me to clarity" below. Do it to solidify this manifesto in your reality. Let every like on your comment remind you of this promise. In the quiet moments, away from the clamor of daily life, you can hear your deepest wisdom. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This is your sanctuary, a place where battles with doubt and fear dissolve into peace. Here, you don't just listen, you converse. Picture this. You're having a challenging day at work. Your boss is pushing your limits, deadlines are looming, and stress is building. Instead of reacting, you seek stillness. You close your eyes briefly. Here, you enter dialogue with yourself. What would your wise future self advise? Perhaps it whispers, "This stress is temporary. Focus on what I can control." Epictetus taught, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In the silence, the voice of wisdom grows louder. This internal dialogue isn't just about finding solutions, but understanding feelings. It's about asking yourself powerful questions. What am I learning here? How can I grow? Your higher self isn't a distant, untouchable entity. It's you without fear. You, clear and understanding. It's easy to forget this voice in the chaos. Yet, in stillness, everything becomes clear. Decisions made here are less about reaction and more about deliberate action. And still, you'll find that every challenge, every tough conversation or decision echoes back from that quiet counsel within. Pause for 1 second. If this is hitting you, hit that subscribe button. It tells me to keep making these for you. Remember, this inner conversation is not a one-time event. It's a constant practice. It's about making room for your higher self amidst life's noise. Keep honing this skill. Let every quiet moment be an opportunity for profound dialogue with your own wisdom. You'll find that, in these dialogues, your true power emerges. Keep listening, keep evolving, and never underestimate the strength you find in stillness. 11. The perspective flip, seeing anger's origins. Let's delve into understanding anger. Imagine this. A driver cuts you off, horn blaring. Your heart races, fists clenched, ready to lash out. But wait, where does this anger come from? Marcus Aurelius once said, "Reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears." Think about that. You're standing at the edge of a decision, anger or understanding. Every ounce of anger has its roots in perception, in how you interpret events. This perspective flip isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about reframing the tale you tell yourself. Instead of "he wronged me," rethink it as "he acted according to his nature, not mine." This is liberating. Why? Because it shifts control back to you. You own your reactions. When you face anger, ask yourself, what's the unmet expectation here? Who says this moment must meet my desires? As Epictetus teaches, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. Now, imagine you're in a heated discussion with a coworker. Rather than seeing their words as attacks, see them as expressions of their own struggles and limitations. This doesn't mean you accept poor behavior. Rather, you learn to address it from a place of strength, not emotion. By flipping your perspective, anger dissolves, replaced by clarity. Peace becomes your response. And this, my friend, is true power. If you want to keep receiving these reminders, click the subscribe button now. It's a small action for you, but a giant step for your mind. This process, this shift, takes practice. Just like sculpting a statue, slowly chipping away at old reflexes, revealing a new, composed self underneath. Remember what Seneca said, "No evil is great if it is the last." So, next time anger knocks on your door, pause. Breathe deep. Consider how you rewrite the narrative. You have the power to look past the immediate, diving deeper into understanding. And it's here you transform fury into fortitude. 12. The resilience ritual, building emotional endurance. Building emotional endurance is an art, often overlooked in our quest for quick fixes. Patience and strength of character are your tools here. Imagine building a muscle. Resilience is no different. You need to push it, test it, then let it recover and grow stronger. Consider the story of Marcus Aurelius. He was an emperor, but he faced plague, war, betrayal. Yet, he remained steady. His secret? He practiced a resilience ritual. Daily, he'd affirm his intentions, recognizing each day as an opportunity to practice courage and self-control. To start your resilience ritual, begin each day with questions. What could go wrong today? How can I respond with calm? Prepare your mind. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Think about each challenge as a weight. When someone criticizes you, it's a chance to lift that weight. When you face disappointment, it's another rep. Each push makes you stronger. Now, pause and take action. Subscribe if this is hitting you. It tells me to keep making these for you. Embrace discomfort. When you feel frustrated or overwhelmed, take a pause. Reflect on what Stoics call the discipline of assent. Don't just react. Think deliberately. Make a choice to respond with patience and poise. This is a practice, not an instant fix. But with each day, your emotional endurance grows. The great thinker Seneca once wrote, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." Every time you choose to be resilient, you arm yourself with courage. Remember, storms will pass, but your strength remains. Practice this ritual daily and watch your emotional muscles flex with every challenge. 13. Stepping stones. Learning from emotional episodes. You may think past emotional episodes are scars, eternal imprints that drag you down. But listen closely, they are stepping stones. They are your paths to greater wisdom and deeper strength. Every obstacle I face is an opportunity to grow. I want you to pause right now and comment, "Every obstacle I face is an opportunity to grow," below. Do it to solidify this manifesto in your reality. Let every like on your comment remind you of this promise. Emotional episodes often hit like a tidal wave, unexpected and overwhelming. But a Stoic does not drown. A Stoic learns to surf. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." So when anger flares up or sadness looms, see it as a teacher. These emotions are tools to hone your character and build your resilience. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. He starts with raw, unshaped metal. With each strike of the hammer and each wave of the flame, that metal transforms into steel, strong and sharp. Your emotional experiences are similar. Each emotional turmoil is a strike of the hammer. It's hot and intense, but it shapes you. It sharpens you. Reflect on your previous episodes. Ask yourself, how did this change me? What did I learn from it? How can this guide my response in future situations? This is where the magic happens. This is where emotional episodes turn into wisdom. Remember Epictetus' teaching. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You are making the journey from fury to fortitude. And with each step, you learn to navigate the storms of life with calm and clarity. Pause for 1 second. If this is hitting you, hit that subscribe button. It tells me to keep making these for you. When you accept that your emotional history is part of your growth journey, those stepping stones become solid ground. Acknowledge that you are always progressing. Even when it feels like you're backtracking, those episodes you revisit aren't setbacks, they're reminders. Reminders of how far you've come and how much more you can grow. So next time emotions crash over you, stand firm. Look back at these stepping stones. Reflect and move forward with conviction. You are not just surviving, you're thriving. 14. The gratitude shift. Focusing on fortunes. Stop doing this right now if you want true peace. You focus too much on what you lack and too little on what you have. Have you ever considered how much of your tension comes from holding on to wants over your reality? Gratitude births abundance. In appreciation, I uncover wealth. I want you to pause right now and comment gratitude births abundance. In appreciation, I uncover wealth below. Do it to solidify this manifesto in your reality. Let every like on your comment remind you of this promise. Consider the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, who urged us to dwell on the beauty of life. He said, "Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them." In every setback or hardship, you have an opportunity to notice what still shines. Your internal narrative determines whether you live in fortune or misfortune. Ask yourself, what are you framing your life with, abundance or deficiency? Imagine a man in the hustle of modern life, stressed about missing a train. His mind fixates on being late and not on the free time unexpectedly given to reflect, to plan, or even to just breathe. Now shift this scenario. He notices the few moments he's gifted. He acknowledges these moments as rare time for thought instead of thinking he's lost time. Which man do you think leaves this situation enriched? Gratitude is a shift. It reframes fortune not as something you chase, but a state you embrace. Reflect on Seneca's insight. What you give yourself can never be taken from you. Why fixate on the fleeting or the imagined when you can root yourself in what you truly possess? Life is not about what you don't have, but about fully acknowledging and using what you do. At this moment, take stock of your fortunes. List the allies, the physical strengths, the inner qualities, the inspires of joy you carry. They're not mere possessions. They're your wealth. And before you let your mind wander back to deficiencies, remember this grounding. Gratitude is the lens. Without it, you're blind to the abundance surrounding you. Reconnect with this simple truth to experience a shift in energy and perspective. This shift is your journey from fury to favor, however tough the path. The real epic battle is choosing to see what you have over what you're missing. Epictetus reminds us again. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he is not, but rejoices for those which he has. Pause for a moment. If this resonates, subscribe. This is the kind of wisdom I share every week. If you found this valuable, subscribe so you never miss it. When you train your mind this way, you uncover the fortunes hidden beneath everyday life's chaos. See this. and calm becomes your natural state, chaos your reminder of what truly counts. Revisit the gratitude habit each day. Engage with life's abundance, not its emptiness. Make gratitude your cornerstone, and let this knowledge bring you the peace and prosperity that endlessly awaits. Now, take action. Reflect, grow, and let gratitude lead your path forward into a more fulfilling life. 15. The heritage of heroes, adopting historical insights. You might be doing everything wrong by neglecting the wisdom of those who've walked before you. Imagine if I told you that the great leaders, the heroes in history, knew secrets that shaped their destinies. Secrets that you, too, can embody. Ancient Stoicism teaches us about the living legacy of those who have gone before. To live happily is an inward power of the soul, Marcus Aurelius reminds us. Heroes of the past wrestled with their fears, not by chance, but by drawing on the wisdom of others. It was through their hardships that they built paths for us to follow. These aren't just stories. They're tools, blueprints of resilience and insight carved through hours of reflection and struggle. What can you learn from them, and how can you apply it today? Picture George Washington, who turned to Cato's tragedies in times of battle. Or think of modern leaders who read, learn, and adapt the insights of historical greats. It's about recognizing patterns and adopting strategies. You live in a world full of distraction tracks, but those who commit to learning from the past can design their own future. Adopt the teachings. Study the lives of these heroes. Each story tells you something different, but they all speak the same truth. You have the power to carve your destiny with courage and wisdom. If this is hitting you, hit the subscribe button. Let me know that this matters to you, so together we can dive deeper into these transformations. The more you learn, the more these lessons seep into your bones. They build a mind that remains unshaken, even when the storm rages. Today, reflect on whose lessons light your path. Embrace your role as a student of history, an apprentice to the heroes who've paved the way. Each day is a new scroll, blank and waiting to be filled with insights you need, just as they did for those before you. The transformation, your inner stronghold. You build a fortress in your mind. This fortress is your inner stronghold, the unshakable core within you. Imagine your mind as a castle. Its walls protect you from chaos and fear. Inside, you are calm, deliberate, and ready for any storm. Marcus Aurelius said, "The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting." It's in the way you transform challenges into learning and growth. This mental fortress is about taking life's punches without losing your ground. Think of your day-to-day life, pressures at work, challenges in relationships, unexpected setbacks. These are the storms that life brings. But with an inner stronghold, you remain untouched at your core. Let's examine a simple analogy. A tree in the wind. It bends, sways, but rarely breaks. Why? Because its roots are deep, anchoring it firmly to the ground. Like that tree, your foundation must be resilient. Deep roots in Stoic teachings give your mind the support it needs to bend without breaking. If building this mental strength is crucial for you, subscribe now. It's a small action that feeds your mind. It tells me you're ready to become unwavering, no matter what life tries to throw your way. Now, how do you strengthen these mental walls? By practicing control over what you can influence and letting go of what you cannot. Epictetus reminds us, it's not events that disturb people, it's their judgments concerning them. Train yourself to focus only on what lies within your power. Life won't stop throwing challenges your way, but with each test, your fortress grows stronger. The storms that once terrified you will seem insignificant compared to the peace within your castle. This is your transformation, becoming someone who stands firm in their path. Someone who can watch the chaos outside and remain serene within.